Well, there's been a bit of a bump in the road with the pandemic for many brands and many countries. China obviously was hit very hard with that. So from a branding perspective, the best thing that China can do right now is communicate with their consumer and be as transparent as possible. Everyone knows that China is renowned for their efficiency. We want to make sure that consumers understand that they're also going to be known for their quality as well.
Right. President Xi Jinping first cited this concept of changing made in China into created in China. To me, it's such a fascinating way to view things, right? Just one word to transform a whole image. How do you think that's affected the mindset of the China brand so far?
Well, it's funny, we're in May, right? And this is a very important day for China as far as branding goes. But one of the most important branding perspectives that they had was the first Monday in May with the Metropolitan Museum costume ball with Vogue magazine. And they created an entire movie around it. And that really brought the American consumer and brought China into the focus as far as fashion and their very, very long history with that. And, it can seem a little esoteric at first talking about fashion, but really, when what you wear every day, what you put on your feet, what you put on your body really does matter. And I think that was one of the very first branding efforts that China really communicated with the American consumer, if not globally.
Fascinating. And I mean, apart from fashion, these days Chinese tech certainly making waves. Tencent, Huawei, even TikTok. What hurdles, Kristin, would you say remain in getting the world to see China as a nation of innovation and creation, not just a copy and paste model of manufacturing?
Absolutely. Transparency and efficiency, obviously, showing what China has to offer in a way that consumers, really want. You want to have the product that consumers want at the price point they want. And just being transparent about what that product means. Americans here are very familiar with TikTok. It's kind of, has a very strong foothold here in the United States. We've had some issues here governmentally with tech and, that sort of thing. And I think eventually that will smooth itself out. That's kind of been, I think, the biggest hurdle as far as the most well-known of Chinese brands. But, as a global economy, as Chinese consumers grow and the thirst for a Chinese brand grows, I'm extremely bullish. And that will only get bigger with time.
Right. And of course, we've been talking so far just about the international market. I mean, it's not just about changing what the world thinks of it, but also the domestic mindset, right? I mean, with a greater emphasis now on domestic consumption, how are Chinese brands attracting the local market to compete with international names?
Well, so I think it's very clever to adopt this sort of fish where the fish are marketing and product consumer method, if you will, right? We want to sell to Chinese consumers that we are created in China. But that sort of protectionism, I think, can be a blessing and a curse. And I think one would be mindful to not only showcase created in Chinese brands, created in China brands to the local market, but also you have to keep an eye on globalization as well if you're going to grow and foster as a brand powerhouse.